Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, exactly as I said, turned out to be a massive instantaneous success. So massive, in fact, that in roughly 2 days, just 2 days, it made up all of its development costs. And at that point, it's just pure profit, baby. And the players loved it. Most people loved it. It had a hiccup here and there. People were questioning what's happening here. The CEO did bend the knee at the end, but it doesn't matter. Still an absolutely great game with minor problems. And obviously, when the success is this high, it's gonna get a sequel. It's gonna get an expansion. It's there, it's happening, and, well, there's news of it.
We just got a huge update on what's coming next for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and this may come as a shock, but they're doing it. They're finally removing this. Earlier today was a dev stream, where Warhorse shared major details on not only the next major update, which was described as the biggest update that this game will ever get, yet this update's secretly been in development for about 5 months now, but also during the stream we got some gameplay of some of the new features that will be coming in this update and even in some future updates, but also a ton of details around what else is coming to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, some of the major fixes, balance changes, and even details on some of the DLCs that are dropping later this year. But that wasn't all. Separately, Destin just interviewed Sir Toby, where we get some further insight into what's
This guy looks like he escaped from a goddamn psych ward.
Next for this studio. Questions finally being answered around Kingdom Come Deliverance 3 and even a potential new IP from Warhorse. But the next update that is coming to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 will be official mod tools.
Now, again, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 did not turn out woke. It had woke elements in it, and again, the CEO had to bend the knee. Now, I personally think he didn't want to, but he was forced. That's why we got all the spastic, childish responses from him that we got. But the moment you bend the knee, and since we know the studio has been acquired by the Embracer Group, I mean, what do you think is going to happen with the third installation? What are the fears? I mean, it's very, very, very far away from being even a thing. But what do you think is going to happen in like 5 years when this comes closer?
Which are currently slated to release in just under 2 weeks on Tuesday, March 11th, at least according to this dev stream earlier today. This is going to be a dual release. The official mod tools themselves will drop on this day, but at the same time, we're also going to be getting some Steam Workshop support. So the actual process of downloading mods for this game should be fairly seamless on Steam.
With all the options you have in this game, the mods that people are going to make is going to be wild. First of all, someone's going to instantaneously, at the snap of the finger, make a mod that actually makes it so that fighting groups of enemies is impossible because they will actually surround you. And I mean, if you're surrounded from all sides, it's really hard to actually do anything in real life and in a game, especially a game that's aimed at realism.
Although sadly, during this dev stream, they did confirm that console mods are currently not planned or coming to this game.
The console peasants burn in hell where they deserve to be. I have no pity for the fool who chose a console.
And this honestly is a pretty big deal. If you're already familiar with the modding in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, the devs here described how this time around the modding possibilities will be even greater. Just about all of the internally used tools to develop Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 are being made public and will be in the hands of modders. And they even describe putting in a bit of extra work into the tools.
Maybe. If we're lucky, someone also creates a mod where, 5 NPCs at the same time don't have this stance when trying to fight with a sword, which is pretty fucking annoying, not gonna lie.
Themselves and a lot of the documentation around all of this. It very much so seems like Warhorse wants modding to prosper with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and it's one of the big reasons that these modding tools are coming so quickly after release, really just a month or so after. But there is seemingly going to be one big downside with these modding tools. Reportedly, they're quite hard to use. So while things like custom quests will technically be possible with these tools, the devs during the stream describe how this will likely take a while to actually implement just because it's going to take some time for mod authors to actually learn and get used to using these things. But if you are interested, get subscribed. I am planning to fully cover a lot of the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 mods that are releasing over the course of 2025. And if anything, the mods update is really just going to be the start of a flood of new content coming to this game. Because just a week or so after this mods update does drop, patch 1.2 will also be dropping. This is going to include over 1,000 fixes for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and the first of the free DLCs, which is really more of just a new feature with the Barber. And to make this clear, the way they talked about this during the stream, these are two separate updates just releasing incredibly close to one another. The mods update will seemingly just be the mod tools and Steam Workshop support, but then literally a few days to a week later, at some point in mid-March, a second, more typical game update will be dropping with these 1,000 fixes. And this update actually is a bit of a unique one in that it's been secretly being developed for about 5 months now. You're probably thinking, wait, how? The game only came out about 3 to 4 weeks ago? How has this update been in the works for 5 months? During the stream, the devs basically described how they wanted Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 to be as polished as possible on release. And sadly, fixing bugs can often lead to more bugs or other issues popping up. So they basically broke off into a secondary branch for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and were working on the massive patch 1.2 over there. So a lot of what's included in this update will be bug fixes. They mentioned performance optimization, so some of the worst performing areas of the map will get nice FPS boosts. The very common PS5 headphone issue is being resolved with this one, as well as a bunch of balance
PS5, who cares?
Changes are coming. Halberds are getting a nice buff. Stealth items are rebalanced, although they don't actually mention if it's a nerf or a buff to stealth items. And in what is perhaps the most monumental change of the update overall, the tutorial message saying you don't need to hold W while riding on a horse is being removed with patch 1.2. In its own right, this update should be giant, but it's also going to include the first free DLC with the Barber. Barber Fiala will finally have a job as now.
Well, I mean, didn't expect that with the words DLC. I'm kind of disappointed, honestly. I want a real DLC, okay? Something where you wake up, aliens take you, probe your ass, and BAM! Cyberpunk 2076, bitch. And now you have to, you know, wreck your way through billions of peasants or something. I mean, obviously that's a joke, but you know, I expect kind of something better, you know, where we can seduce the baker's daughter or something like that. Okay, I'm looking forward to big things. Okay, the baker's daughter seduction quest line. That's what I want.
You could find new Barber locations on both maps in game.
Or we can think bigger. The court, squires, clowns, win daughter seduction timeline. Okay, how about that? I know, damn.
At the Barber, for a fee, you can modify both your head hair as well as your facial hair with quite a few options available for each. Many of these being appropriate hairstyles for the time, but also some familiar hairstyles that appeared in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, which also had a barber. And after getting your hair done, Henry will have a new freshly trimmed buff, which will raise your charisma by 2 for a few days. I could have really used this feature a few weeks ago as I was trying to get into a certain wedding, but at least some of the new players will gain access to that one. We're getting these two updates pretty quickly in the next 2 to 3 weeks, but the devs describe that just a month after patch 1.2 and the Barber, another update will drop that'll principally add in the hardcore mode for Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Now this is big.
Deliverance 2, which we got a deep preview of during this dev stream. They're doing something really cool with this one. Warhorse already has 100 players privately testing the hardcore mode right now. These are players from the community, not people internally at Warhorse, and that should mean that the hardcore mode will have over a month of additional player feedback from actual people playing this game. And this hardcore mode is really interesting. It's really described as more of an immersion mode. Right as you begin with this one, you'll have to pick at least...
Okay, that's what I actually wanted from a hardcore mode, just immersion, honestly.
3 negative perks. These are basically a fixed debuff for your character that will just make things harder. Technically,
oh, interesting.
You can pick all of these if you want.
Heavy footed, okay.
But need
some of these are just gonna be nothing.
To at least choose 3 in order to begin playing.
Sweaty. You get dirty faster, meaning you start to smell faster. And when you do, you can be when you can be smelled from thrice as far away, making it easier to detect. Plus, perfume doesn't give you any positive effects. You can't hide the stench. Ooh, wow.
in a hardcore mode save. Many of these are pretty simple and predictable things. Bad back will give you less carrying capacity, and while harvesting you can pull your back, giving you another debuff. Heavy footed leads to you making more noise while walking, but you'll also burn through shoes faster. You can get dirty faster and be smelt from twice as far away, and there's even some more custom stuff in here. Punchable face will make it so travelers on the road are more likely to fight you, and enemies will never give up in combat. The menace perk will make it so brands you receive are permanent, and getting caught after you already have one brand for a serious crime will just lead to your execution. Bashful makes you shy, so you're going to be unable to speak to any of the bathhouse girls, basically locking you out of all of their services.
Damn.
And you won't be able to ask random NPCs for directions, which is one of the core new features of this hardcore mode. Because what seems like it'll be the hardest part of the hardcore mode is navigation.
Ah, that's so good. That is so good. Yes. In a game like this, actually knowing how to navigate, if especially it's like your first experience or something, is big. Oh, that sounds so fun, actually. Like, I mean, who knows the map perfectly? Fucking no one.
No more quest markers.
Especially, dude, man, if there was only a way to, like, randomize the shit. Oh, man. Man, playing a game like this with immersion and where you need to actually, you don't have a map is my type of deal, okay? I love stuff like that.
At least when you're decently far away. Saving now always requires save your snaps, and you can't actually see yourself on the map anymore. You can open the map, you can see where quest locations are on the map, but you won't be able to see where you are in the map. And the map will even reopen where...
That's good. I mean, that's basic map stuff.
...ever you last left it. So it's not...
Now all the zoomers are gonna understand how it was being 15, 20 years back, and you were driving with your mom and you had to figure out the map because, well, you drove not the right place in the city. Yeah, good times.
It's not like it's going to center around your current location or really give you any clues as to where you're currently located. So what this means is, while playing on the hardcore mode, you're gonna basically have to use environmental clues, looking at these stars, which, yeah, this game does have a North Star, or even just using things like the sun.
Fuck the North Star, don't be a pussy. Okay? Just find a thing, find another thing, and bam, that's how you orientate on the map.
Position to determine which way is north and really which way you have to go. One of the new features to make this a lot more approachable with the hardcore mode is asking other NPCs for directions. So just by quickly interacting with an NPC, you could ask where you currently are, and this will place a flag on the map showing that current position, but once you close the map, this flag will be gone. So navigation is going to become a far larger consideration.
I mean, this is not hard, but it's fun, okay? I think it's just fun. Orientation is fun, not that orientation.
On this mode, which of course doesn't feature fast travel either, so you're going to actually have to ride everywhere. And thankfully they made it so this won't be unbearable. Quest markers don't appear on the compass from afar, but thankfully they still appear on the map, and as you actually get close to certain quest locations, those quest markers will reappear on your compass, so exploration in the medium term isn't unbearable. But it's hardcore, so there will also be a combat component to all of this. The devs mention how the combat difficulty isn't actually that much higher in hardcore mode, but it does sound like certain things are tuned up and down. But overall, your hits on enemies and when enemies hit you will be relatively similar, and the bigger difference with the hardcore mode is a ton of your HUD will just be gone now. You can no longer see which direction your weapon is oriented, your health and stamina bars are gone, although when you run low, those screen effects will still appear. The little rabbit that you could see while sneaking is gone, and honestly, to me, this feels like one of the biggest removals. Not being able to see
this is pretty big, yeah.
if an enemy's currently detecting you or looking for you or anything like that is kind of a big thing to not be aware of. Seems like stealth is going to be super difficult on this hardcore mode. The pop-up for timing a perfect block, counter, or dodge is no longer going to be visible, and instead you just basically need to learn and watch NPC behavior, really just studying their animations, so you know when the timing is best. Although you still are able to lock
Damn, some people are gonna enjoy this so much.
Onto enemies at least. So the hardcore mode is going to be less about enemies that are going to suddenly hit you with 10 times more damage, and more, it's going to be that you have far less info available to you at a glance.
I'm sorry, KCD movie? Who gives a shit?
plants, which in turn will make combat a lot harder. And there will be some new achievements
People didn't give enough of a shit about the World of Warcraft movie, and you think the KCD movie is gonna be interesting?
for the game with this hardcore mode release. And it still isn't all. During the stream, we heard some details about future updates and even some of what is being planned for the DLCs. They mentioned that the hardcore mode should be coming out about mid-April, which seems like the release window for the next patch after 1.2, and quite a few things could end up coming with that. Overall, Warhorse made it clear during the stream that they have long-term plans for this game and are actively listening to fan feedback right now to make some changes to the game. But as far as future features that they currently have on their radar, they have ideas around being able to remove more of the HUD, and it sounds like this is something they'd like to add in the future. So basically being able to play the game with next to zero HUD on. The devs are already looking at Gutenberg balancing. They feel players are getting a bit too rich and strong towards the back half of this game, and they want to tweak this but don't want to overdo it, but they are taking
Dude, again, imagine the situation you're actually surrounded. These NPCs are not idiots, and they just run to the back of you. You're fucked.
taking a rather favorable approach towards some of this balancing. As an example, they think swords right now are a bit too strong, but they don't want to just nerf swords, as that
You know what's too strong? The fucking Somali retard who can't be killed.
feels really bad in your single
Quad horse.
player RPG. I don't want to get an update and suddenly my build is worse. So instead, what they want to do is raise some of the other weapon categories to match swords to even out the playing field that way. And they're even exploring adding more options to photo mode, which right now in game is fairly basic.
Oh my god, photo mode! Wow, the thing I literally have never cared about in any game. Yeah, sure, develop photo mode. What am I, a woman?
The devs are currently collecting internal feedback and taking inspiration from other games from their photo modes, and they're also looking at community feedback to see if an upgraded photo mode is even something worth adding. So if you want to see a better photo mode in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and I very much so want to, then make some noise, because it seems like right now is the timing where the devs are paying attention online, and if you make enough noise, we'll probably get a new photo mode as a nice new feature. But what I think a lot of fans are missing is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 already has a 2025 roadmap. This actually came out before the release of
Wait, what?
the game, and it shows all of these free updates or DLCs that are coming, as well as the paid DLCs. Which, after listening to this dev stream, I really do think this is kind of everything. It doesn't sound like they have any plans for content beyond what's shown on this roadmap. In the first DLC, which should be dropping about 3 months
Horse racing, jeez, Grand Theft Horse.
after release, which would put its release date around early May,
Dude, people are gonna mod the shit out of this and it's gonna be amazing.
there's going to be several new quests, and one of the abilities you're going to unlock during this one is to paint your own shield. As you finish some of the quests, you're going to unlock new symbols that you can add to your shield, and apparently some of these are really funny. And to be clear, it's not like this is going to be one of the big features of that DLC
Yeah, I'm kind of looking for bigger things, not just shield painting or barber shops.
per se. They just were asked to share something about that DLC, and this is what they mentioned. And personally, I think that's really cool. I think being able to customize your shield a bit more and inject some personality into how you build out your character is going to be really fun. And if we also get an improved photo mode, I could imagine a really nice synergy here. But this first DLC, which will be paid, will also include some substantial free content with a companion update to the game. And it seems like the major feature that's going to come for free around this time are those horse races, which you could see from this roadmap. We don't get too many details about what exactly the horse races will look like, although it's fairly safe to assume
It's fairly safe to assume that the horse races are gonna be done on horses and it's gonna be a race. Ain't that right, Cap?
going to just run faster than the other horse, although there are going to be some modifiers, as this will also have a mode where you have to hit targets with a crossbow from horseback. The second DLC will come quite a bit later than that. It's named Legacy of the Forge and slated to drop between July and September. This one's being described as the feature-rich DLC. Its main focus is going to be to revitalize a forge in Gutenberg, quite similar to the DLC in the first game where you can build up a town. And while we don't get too many concrete details on what exactly you're going to be doing here, it was just overall described how this one has a lot of new mechanics being implemented into the game. Even more.
It's the bread maker. You're gonna get the bread maker's daughters, boys. It is what it is.
more than with the first game's DLC with building that
Okay, now this is actually cool, though.
town. As well as, of course, it's going to feature a full-fledged questline to do. So it seems like it'll be one of those cool features where, yeah, you have a ton of quests and a ton of story that will introduce a lot of these new mechanics to you, but then I have to imagine you're going to have many more hours just playing with and really exploring and advancing yourself with those new mechanics. And one of the major complaints around Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 should be addressed by one of these DLCs. Something you see a lot of people complaining about is the lack of church interiors. As of right now, none of the churches in-game are enterable, but during the stream we hear why these were cut and how one monastery is going to be coming. Basically, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has no church interiors because no quests currently take you inside of a church. So the devs describe how this was really a simple business decision to focus on optimizations over church interiors, which, while nice, are otherwise completely unnecessary for this game. But the final DLC, known as Mysteria Ecclesiae, I just took a shot on that one, I have no idea how you're supposed to say that. They mentioned not opening church interiors with this DLC, but there's going to be a big monastery interior that you will be able to explore, as we are working to stop the spread of a deadly illness. And
Ooh, nice. The Black Plague. Wait, when did the Black Plague take place, though? It wasn't Bohemia. No, it wasn't even close to that. But deadly plagues are a thing that has been throughout history constant. In any case, future of Warhorse, I mean, they made a lot of money. They're gonna continue to make shit. And that's honestly it. That was Juicehead. 10 out of 10. Have a nice day. Bye.